I've always liked that song.
Has everyone got one-liners?
No.
Yep.
I had one because I haven't had a haircut and I look like one of the Beatles, so I was going to do a Beatles.
I'm trying to guess which one, and you look like all four of the Beatles
Tom,
rolled
you could
into
be
one.
60 and you would still look like the kid from A Bad Boy.
I've heard that.
I can't wait to hear Tom's bad Scouse accent, though.
I can't do a bad Scouse accent. I can't do a Scouse accent.
Anyone can do a
all.
Scouse accent. You just got to go, eh, before you say anything.
All right, calm down. I can't.
There wasn't
do it
enough
either.
phlegm in that Whittle.
And you
No,
got
no.
to really emphasise the T's. I can't do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries, canines and felines, gather ye around your audio dispensation devices. It's time for another episode of the Cacophony Sessions Podcast. Yes, they're still making them. This is the pop punk one. I'm not going to beat around the bush here because we have 5 guys in their mid-30s about to gush over their adolescence. And we do have one Cornish alien-human hybrid of indeterminate origin who will probably somehow still claim that the Beastie Boys are the best pop punk band of all time. This is the one with the tears, the one with the fights, and the one with the breakups. Without sounding too much like a Friends episode title, allow me to introduce to you the cast of Chaos, my original pranksters. It's Purity Control himself, the truth from Red Roof. It's Martyn.
Hi, I'm Martyn, and I was the skater boy of the titular song. Only that's quite problematic because of the whole age gap thing. I'm approaching 50.
He's the dentist that gets the bentist. It's Tom.
I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that. My one line has gone out of my head now. We'll just go with what Dan said and just carry on.
It's the hunk that likes punk, Jim.
If this were really happening, what would you think?
That's way
I'd
too
be
deep for this.
He's not impotent, he's important. It's Alex.
Are you a long structure used to restrict the flow of water across rivers and underwater streams? Because damn!
And he's the man amongst the men that turns this podcast from a Dan to a den. It's the return of Dan B.
You can always give punk rock bands constructive criticism. They appreciate feedback.
Oh,
Wow, I got silence.
I
pure
enjoyed how
silence.
much I didn't care for that. That was good. That was a good one. That was a good one. Good
You
one.
are getting better at the dad jokes, I'll give you
That
that.
was 10 out of 10 cringe. Lovely.
Punstoppable.com let me down.
Not only is this a subject that we have a lot to talk about, as you can see, this is also the first video episode as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the uncensored version will be available on the Patreon if it isn't already. So isn't that lovely? You get to see us. None of us are completely grotesque, but we'll let you be the decider of that. Anyway, who's up for some Does It Slap?
Don't trade a podcast where the jingles are crap. So let's take a good song and ask, does it slap?
Who wants to be our contestant this week?
So where the slime lives, Morbid Angel.
No, you are disqualified. Let's have somebody else, shall we?
I'll nominate Morbid Angel and Where the Slime Live.
Not getting in.
This is
Not
just
getting in.
unreasonable, Whittle.
No, see, the reason it doesn't get in, and I thought about this, is it's what I'm calling
Because not
the...
enough people like it.
I've never heard it.
What? You haven't lived.
You've trivialised my forthcoming
Are
point.
you trying to tell me you don't know where the slime lives?
Where do they live?
Ah.
Listen to the
Wait.
song and find out.
It doesn't pass what I'm calling the Triple H test. So the Triple H test is what I've been applying to songs to see if they are undeniable bangers or not. It involves headphones. So can you listen to it on headphones? Does it really engage?
Yes.
Can you listen to
Yes.
it just generally at home and just have it as ambience background music?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah, of course.
does it rock the final H, the house party? I don't think this one rocks the house party.
Yeah, but no
Depends on the
songs
house
rock
party.
the house party because you've always got some dickhead there who doesn't like anything except, I don't know.
Like X
Basically,
Factor
as
type
me,
stuff.
Morbid Angel.
me, right?
There's nothing worse than people that don't like metal. It's just they are the worst people on earth.
I don't know. I think the Nazis were pretty bad.
No, yeah, they weren't as bad, so they like metal. I'm sure they would like metal. Have you
Okay.
heard Sabaton? I swear to Christ, I'd love it.
Okay.
Can we have a real suggestion for Does It Slap?
Yeah.
I have
so-
one.
But
Yeah, I've got.
Go on.
How about A Certain Shade of Green by Incubus?
Don't know it.
I know that
song.
particular. I've heard
Never
it,
heard
but
it.
I don't. You know, what I could sing to you is Drive.
Did you listen to Science since we last talked about it?
No, I got distracted. I ended up listening to a band called Pages, yacht rock from the late 70s, early 80s.
And
That
you
sounds
didn't listen
genuinely
to
awful.
A certain
No, it was
yeah,
great.
that sounds like hell. A Certain Shade of Green by Incubus is great. If not that, then Minerva by Deftones.
That's going to make it because that's just a really good song.
Oh, I'm totally on board with that. Yeah, it is one of the best
Yes,
songs
yes, it
ever
is. It's
made.
very
It's
good.
so gorgeous. It's amazing.
That's an undeniable
voting
banger
that
for
in.
me, yeah.
Which song's this? Sorry,
Minerva by Deftones. God bless
which
you
album's that
all.
on?
On the self-titled.
Self-titled, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a metal shoegaze classic. It's just fucking huge.
I don't know the song by name, but thanks to that little rendition from Alex, I know exactly which song you mean.
Yeah.
First single off the one after White Pony, and it was very good.
Yeah, Minerva gets in.
I just ordered a White Pony t-shirt just a second ago, actually, and they sent me a text, and I'm pretty certain I just got like spam fucking charged for like a $5 just to get a text saying it's confirmed. So that t-shirt went from £24 to £30 in like 30 seconds. So go me. That might get edited out. That was just a personal annoyance. I just had them.
Story, bro. Tell it again.
Do we have more detail?
And if you want more stories like that, you can always head to our blog at thecacophonysessions.wordpress.com. You can follow us on Twitter at CacSessionsPod. As I said earlier, we now have a Patreon. You can find more details in the link below. General chit-chat before we discuss pop punk. Let's start this week. Dad, you weren't on the last episode. What have you been doing?
I've been listening to lots of pop punk.
Yeah.
Let's get on with the show. Nothing else. Literally
nothing
nothing else.
Have you also, on your deep dive, discovered that Goldfinger's newest album might be one of their best ones?
I did not listen to anything after 2007. So
Oh, listen to the new Goldfinger album. It's really good. Might be my favorite.
Apart from two of the nominations, one of which was 2014 and one of which was 2016.
I was only joking. I did listen to some newer stuff, but not that new. What is their new album like, Al? I want to know.
It is very good because annoyingly they got rid of the original drummer Darren because Goldfinger's a band where it's really is just John Feldman's band.
Is
But,
Mike Herrera still the drummer?
No, the guy called Darren was their original drummer the whole time. But if
Yeah,
he
but Mike,
wasn't
I went
the
to see
drummer-
them live back, I don't know, about 5 years ago. And Mike Herrera of MXPX was drumming that night. And I think he's done quite a lot with them.
Well, I'm
Yeah, I
not
was
sure,
there
but
that night.
the newest album had Travis Barker drumming on all of it, except for one or two songs, I think. But yeah, it's very good. Some of it's a bit poppy and usual, but I listened to that album. It came out like 2-3 years ago now, but I listened to that album like non-stop for a long time. And it's my favorite Goldfinger album, except for the last song, Mila, about his daughter, which is terrible. Fuck his daughter.
You don't say that, man. That's problematic, dude.
Yeah, I dread to continue now, but Al, what have you been up to?
Not really much, to be honest. Paid to be Warhammer. Slowly getting it. I listened to
Nice.
so much punk pop, and problem is doing this homework for this has just meant that every album of the bands I like, I just end up just listening to all of it. There's a few I didn't make the list, like last minute, which I don't want to say because we're in the list, but I've just been listening to a lot of Creeper as well. They're on my, I'm just going to spoil it. It's one of my picks for this week. So I just went down a rabbit hole of that. And then I went down a Coheed and Cambria route again because they're not like punk pop, but their second album was pretty much exactly around the time that we were all into Blink-182.
And the singer
So-
from Creeper sounds so much like the singer from Coheed and Cambria.
He's so good. He's such
Yeah.
a good singer. Like,
They
if I
sound
was to
so
come up with
similar.
a punk pop vocalist, like that's what I would want it to sound like. Whereas he's quite high, but not too high. But he's got a good level of yell. And anyway, I fucking love Creeper, except for the newest. They're starting to change from pop punk, which I like, to just every band I like. They just change to more stadium rock, and now it's just getting shit. Like every band, they get popular for one thing, and then they decide now we're popular, we can try and be more popular and change
We'll
our
talk
entire
about Sum
style.
41 later, Al.
I think they're making music for the venues that they're playing. I'm pretty sure there was an interview with Jim Kerr from Simple Minds, because Simple Minds turned into proper stadium rock. And I'm pretty sure he was talking about how they were making music to sound good in the size venues that they were
Yeah,
playing.
but fuck that, because the music in those venues sounds crap on CD. It's the same, like, I'm a massive Parkway Drive fan. Anything after their fucking 5th album, they decided to change their style to fill a fucking stadium. It sounds awful. That's insane.
I'm not a fan of it either, I should add. I mean, weirdly enough, Coheed and Cambria did exactly the same thing. Like, ever since Welcome Home went big, like, they
Their last
released
good
an
album.
album. Yeah, Feathers was good on the album.
Yes, because it sounds like their old stuff. Feathers is the best song they've written since their third album.
Yeah, absolutely.
I listened to their newest album when that came out earlier this year, and there's about 3 good tracks on it, but they're only good because they remind you of tracks on In Keeping Secrets.
So this is going to get heavily edited now because we're on the Coheed Cambria, like my probably third favourite band of all time. I'm just saying, what happened to them? What was so good about Coheed Cambria? They had the best bridges of any fucking band ever.
Yeah.
They have a good verse, good chorus, but their bridges, after that second chorus, they had the best interludes of any band that's ever existed. And then after their third album, they just stopped doing it. It was just lazy rock. And fuck that band for that.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger and the nightmare stops.
I give you a platform to discuss what you've been up to, and you just use it to go on a 2-minute rant about Coheed and Cambria.
Oh man, In Keeping
Time well
Secrets is
spent.
probably the best album ever made.
It's probably top 10, actually.
Even for you.
Yeah, even for me.
It's so good. And the title track in Keeping Secrets is probably my favourite song. I can't think of a better one.
I'd even be happy to put that up in undeniable banger territory.
I don't know it.
That's why we haven't put
you
it forward.
should.
No.
You need
Good.
to.
I don't know it. I've heard it before because I have like
Lived
years.
with us.
Like, I remember
Yeah.
when we were like, I remember to this day when we were about 16 and we listened to In Keeping Secrets for the first time. So our friend Simon introduced us to it. And I was absolutely like, what is this? This is the best thing I've ever heard ever. And that was it. That was enough. But anyway, go on. Next person. I'm going to run more.
Thomas, what have you been up to?
I've been dealing with UK customs who have my bass guitar and are taking bloody ages over it. Tried listening to lots of new stuff, but nothing's really grabbed me. I think of the albums that have come out since we last did an episode, I think the only album that I've listened to the whole way through was MGMT have a new album out called 11-11-11. It's actually, it sounds nothing like their old stuff, but it's quite like slightly ambient. For this year, it's really good. Yeah, I've been on a real downer about music this year. Like, Black Country New Roads album came out, in February?
Yeah.
And it's still probably my album of the year. And like,
I think it was
normally,
January. Might have
Yeah,
even been
but-
January.
Yeah.
Yeah. By now, normally, like the albums that came, so like last year, Black Country New Roads album was also amazing and came out in about January. But by midsummer, it was off the list of the top 3 for me. They released this album this year, which is as good. It is a bit better than their debut. I've been trying to listen to new stuff, and I'm just finding myself endlessly disappointed. And I don't know why. Maybe my head's not in the right place for it. Maybe I'm not ready. I just want something to blow my head off, and I haven't had it yet. So hopefully we are actually in November. So come on, bands, release something good.
I think I've got my top 3 albums for the year, but we'll get into that in January. Jim.
Yeah, I've been off at gigs. Went to see Bill Callahan last
Oh,
weekend.
Bill Callahan, nice.
Yeah, he was fucking
Wow, what a
excellent.
legend.
Yeah, it's very good. He's got a new album out this year. In fact, Tom should give that a listen. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Also managed to go and see Sigur Rós in the week.
No way. That's
Yeah, like-
royalty.
Literally, I went to see Bill Callahan with one of my mates, and he got a text from someone. I've got a load of spare Sigur Rós tickets. Anyone want to go?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is that yes, they're still very good. I say still. I've never seen them before, but yeah, Sigur Rós. Tuesday last week.
Look, you living in a fucking
yeah.
populated metropolitan city that gets gigged.
Yes.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. But also, I'm very excited today because today is the first day of the November sumo tournament.
Oh,
So I've got 2 weeks of non-stop sumo.
How's your
Every day.
man? What is it? Watanabe, isn't it? Is it
Wakatakakage.
Wakatakatagi, how's he doing?
He lost his first match, sadly.
Fucking useless.
Yeah.
So you're not participating then, Jim?
Oh, no, this is the November tourney in Fukuoka.
I'm not too familiar with sumo wrestling myself, I have to admit.
How's Yokozuna doing?
He's been dead since 2000, I think.
Not well.
Not the wrestler.
Well. Not at all. He's doing really badly, actually.
He actually is. The Yokozuna, Terunofuji, has had to pull out of the tournament because he's got absolutely fucked knees.
Well, have you put on a nicer jacket? Because it's
I've
the
got
first
my
video
blatantly
podcast.
hat.
Looks like a nicer jacket than you usually wear.
It's my Starsky and Hutch winter collection
I can tell you put
22-23.
your favorite T-shirt on as well. It feels like you're going extra hard because it's the first.
We're doing pop punk this evening, so I had to represent Prince somehow, and I also had to get some Final Fantasy VII representation in the house as well. So that's what.
I heard 8 spare.
No.
I mean, you're wrong.
Martyn, tell us what's hip and happening.
Buffer remains elusive.
Oh, fuck you, Baphomet.
I know, right? Every time he just keeps turning me down. And yeah, I'm just outside of my work and my course that I'm doing, which is quite intense. My focus is on my band. I absolutely adore my band. Unfortunately, our guitar player, the other guitar player, he's out of action for the minute because he's had a surgery thing on his shoulder. So we haven't played for a little bit. I went to see, it's my girlfriend's birthday the other day, and on her birthday, we went to see Therapy at the depot.
Oh, is that good?
And man, yeah, they
At
were
least you didn't go
incredible.
to therapy.
No, I'm training
We've
to be
been
a
asking for
therapist.
years.
But no, they were every bit as just intense as I am. I remember them back in the day. They were incredible. Such a good band, such professionals, heavy guitar sound, man, just like crazy loud. And I was just thinking, with my band, with the way we're going and as good as we are, because we are excellent, I'd like to try and get really decent support slots with big bands is where my head's at the moment.
So that's the sort of thing you just have to wait for a big band to come through Plymouth and then deal with the promoters.
So the next one will probably be in 2036.
December the 17th, come see Lost Hours, fucking blow the place down.
In Plymouth.
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
In a
Real
pub,
music.
in a
what
pub
venue?
called The Nowhere.
And a nowhere in Plymouth. There you go. One day you're going to have some Peruvian turn up going, yeah, I'm here. Like the one token going. What have you been up to, Dan?
Couple of bits of news for myself. There's an album by a band called Mama's Gun, which is excellent. It's called Cure the Jones. It's like a classic soul album. Sounds a bit like Curtis Mayfield. It's really exceptional. I really like that album.
Does it slap?
It does slap. It'll be making my top 3 at the end of the year, I'm sure. The singer from Mama's Gun is a guy called Andy Platts, and he is also in a band called Young Gun Silver Fox. They are almost like yacht rock, jazz pop, Steely Dan-esque sound. That's really good as well.
Did anyone else get nothing from that description? What does that even
Come
mean?
on.
What does
I
that
can
mean?
imagine myself on a yacht.
Yeah.
So
That's
They're all
really-
Italy.
on a yacht, who's Steely Dan, I may add?
What?
What?
So I know
Come
who
on.
Steely Dan are. I
Is
don't
there anyone
like
else to
Steely
discuss it? I
Dan.
don't know who that is.
Steely Dan are of that sort of early 70s soft rock stuff that was just, I mean, it's just crap, really. But
No,
like, lots of
it's
people like
funky. It's like jazz pop.
I only remember them from the time, I think it was like at an award ceremony when Eminem was basically like, who the fuck is Steely Dan? Because they won an award over him.
What song would I know?
You probably wouldn't know any of them. Maybe
No, it's fine. It's fine. Irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
Reeling in the Years.
Dead in the time of history.
Ricky,
Useless.
don't lose that number. Yeah.
Irrelevant band. Let's not dwell.
Let's talk about Simple Plan and Fall.
I think we should talk about pop punk more because that's relevant to us.
Before we do, there's been a couple of passings that I wanted to just quickly mention. So we had, unfortunately, Mimi Parker from Low passed away in the week.
Very sad.
Yeah,
very,
very
very
sad
sad.
news. She was a fantastic vocalist. I've listened to a lot of their stuff. It's not my normal kind of music, but it certainly gives you something to think about.
I managed to go and see Low earlier in the year. They actually played in Manchester Cathedral. And so, like in that environment with those acoustics, it was absolutely mind blowing. They played for like 2 and a bit hours.
Yeah.
So
I can't think of a better venue than in a cathedral for low.
We also had from Migos, the rapper Takeoff, died. Not too familiar with Migos. It's very modern trap. Not my scene, but I have heard them in passing. They're okay, worth exploring.
It's a shame to hear about anyone dying, but because it's trap, I don't care. Could not give a fuck.
And also Aaron Carter, the pop star from the late
He's
90s,
our
early
age.
2000s. Yeah, it's quite
Not
sad.
Martyn's age.
No, a few decades before that, but
But
So, yeah.
how do you know? Because I heard he died. Now I remember, I know who Aaron Carter is, but I can't remember because he had like one song during like the 2000s because
He
he
was
was
the brother
I think,
of Nick Carter.
Yeah,
from
yeah, exactly. 'Cause he was his
Backstreet
brother. He had
Boys.
one song, and I can't remember what it was. But then after that, there was nothing. So, is this a big death?
No, it's not a
sad
big
to- Any
death.
death's
All deaths are
sad,
big
but
death.
it just
it's very similar to when Little Chris died.
Little Chris was a bigger death for the UK anyway.
For the
Who's
UK,
Little Chris?
yeah.
Checking it out.
Who was Little Chris? Jim?
I've never
You
heard of
go
him.
to like a minute's silence. Al's the guy in the background going, never fucking heard of him.
Yeah, the YouTube comment guy. Yeah, this person died isn't relevant. Let's talk about how Freddie Mercury died in 1991
I didn't like that reference
instead.
because I do know who Little Chris is, and I do know who Aaron Carter is.
There was footage of Nick Carter performing with the Backstreet Boys. He broke down in tears while he was doing Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely.
As
It
we
was
all would.
quite moving, actually. The Backstreet Boys, I think, are the White Temptations. They've got quite a lot of longevity and have had quite a number of pop bangers without any real scandal affecting any of the individual members. They're all quite nondescript and quite professional in how they get on with things. There's one guy, Kevin, who's in the band purely because he's hot. He sings about 3 lines in their entire discography. So they're an odd band, the Backstreet Boys. I've
Got
actually
to
been
say,
listening
well
to them.
done. Anybody
Thing
could
about
make a
Backstreet
career
Boys
out of that.
Is it's like a lot of boy bands in the late 90s, early 2000s. The bottom line is, yeah, it's a bit wanky. Yeah, it's been pre-written. Yeah, it's all about stuff. The problem is they are very catchy. So even if you hate them back in the day, give it 15 years, you'll remember it from your youth, and you go, actually, that was pretty good. Like, how many times have you heard Boyzone? And I've got something to tell you. And you're like, oh, yeah, I've got something to say. Like, everyone likes that song now. Back in the day, it was crap.
Billy
Fuck
Ocean.
me.
To say that was a cover.
Keaton, everyone knows that. He could front Creed. Everyone knows that.
Wait, you mean Ronan Keating wasn't the front man of Creed?
Honestly, you could have fucking fronted Pearl Jam. It sounds the same.
Don't trigger me, man. Don't trigger me.
No, it's true, though.
The last celebrity death that I wanted to mention quickly was yesterday's passing of Kevin Conroy, the voice of the best Batman from the animated series and the video games. Not music related, but certainly somebody who has been a master of his craft at voice acting. So just wanted to give him a little bit of a shout out. Rest in power.
Can I say, because me and my brother used to watch the animated series of Batman a lot. Like,
It's
it was one of my
good.
favourite shows. You know in the opening credits where he dodges punches? Do you remember that bit? Yeah. But it's this one bit we always used to laugh because of his exact pose when he did it. I can do this on video now. We just won't get edited out because people are going to watch it. So he'd be like... I haven't thought about this in 20 years until you mentioned it, but he would have to his worst. If someone was actually dodging your punches in that pose, they look so fucking ridiculous.
So we're here to talk about pop punk tonight. Before we get into our top 10 pop punk songs of all time, how we've done this, same as the last few. We've nominated 5 songs each, and then we've all scored them out of 10. So tonight's top 10 will be our version of the top 10 pop punk songs of all time. Some of them you might find are not necessarily pure pop punk. Some of them may be pop punk adjacent. We'll get onto that as they come up. You can find the playlist. I've made one available on Apple Music. Dan has one for Spotify that we'll put in order. As always, the artist can only appear once in the top 10. But before the top 10, let's do some predictions, shall we?
I know what mine is.
Let's hear it, Al. What is your favourite song that you've picked or someone else has
That's
picked?
tough. Okay, my favourite song out of the stuff that has been picked, and it's something I didn't pick because I personally don't think it's pop punk. My favourite band of all time is the band Lit. it's never not been that band. They're always my favorite band. And I personally think My Own Worst Enemy is the best song on this list. I think that's going to win because I think it's the most universally, it's just good. Even if you don't like the genre, it's just good. So there we go.
Thank you. Martyn, favourite and then your prediction for the winner.
My favourite is my own choice, Bleed American by Jimmy Eat World, because it's a fucking awesome tune. But I do agree, it doesn't belong on this list because it is not pop punk. It is
Okay, then we have an admission. If it's made the top 10, get it out now, Whittle.
Yeah, get it out.
It's
it is a fucking
picks are
tune.
just as important. And
It's
it is-
incredible,
yes.
and yeah,
It's a
it
great
is some
song.
other. But my prediction for number one is All the Small Things by Blink-182.
Dan, favourite and winner, please.
Favourite, Superman by Goldfinger. Winner.
I might win. To be fair, I might win.
Oh, come on, Dan, you're the expert.
Okay.
Here.
I think you might
Winner.
win.
I think All the Small Things will win. It's not my favourite.
Yeah.
Jim, favourite and winner, please.
Favourite No Cigar winner, maybe Basket Case.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Tom.
So my favourite's I'm Not Okay by MCR. And I think that's got an outside chance.
It's got
of
an
winning
outside
it.
chance.
Yeah,
It's just straight up a good
I
song.
think the winner probably Sum 41 in Too Deep.
No fucking
Nah.
way. I cannot wait for the arguments. I cannot wait. This could be...
Let's find out, shall we? After the break.
Let's...
In 10th place, and just to set the base, this one scored 48.6 points. Released on the 14th of November 2000, and the second single from its parent album, this song was featured in the video game Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller and the movie American Pie 2.
I know what this is.
Reaching number 15 in the UK, it was produced by Brendan O'Brien and is situated on the band's sixth studio album, Conspiracy of One. The band is The Offspring, and the song is Want You Bad. This is one of my choices, and it may not be Offspring's best song, but I believe it's their best single, and that's why it made the list for me. Production's bigger, Dexter Holland's vocals in the chorus, they may be the definitive pop-punk vocal, and goddamn if I didn't watch American Pie 2 a million times, so that's always going to help.
We just quickly talk about American Pie 2. That has the best soundtrack of any soundtrack ever made.
It's the pop-punk soundtrack. It's just the pop-punk soundtrack.
I'm
I
impressed this
can't
made the
help
top
but
10.
listen to it without
Yeah.
feeling happy.
To be fair, this was my third favourite song of all the
I mean,
nominations.
I voted it highly because it's The Offspring and it's the only option.
No, I don't
This
think
is-
that's it. The fact is, Conspiracy of One was a good album. I don't care who you are, and wait,
No, it
it's
was.
Good, it is a good album. It is. It just is.
It's got
And
original Prankster on it, though, which sucks.
I still kind of like that song.
I think it's the beginning of the downfall of The Offspring, is it not?
Yeah, no, but that album
Yeah.
is very good. Like that
It was-
song, I think it's track 7, Vultures, is one of my best songs.
It was significantly worse than Americana, though, which was worse than everything they did before.
In hindsight, I think Conspiracy of One is better than Americana because it's got less filler.
Yeah. This is probably my favourite Offspring track, and it's probably one of my favourite pop punk tracks. And the reason being
What did you give
is
it?
I gave it 9.8, third highest score I
It's
gave.
a very
Fucking hell.
No, that's high. Like I didn't give it
Yeah.
that high. It's a good song though.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, he scored it higher than I did.
If you take the guitars out and just take the vocal melody, it could be any chart-topping pop song of that era.
Yeah.
If Britney Spears had sung it with a different backing track, it would have been number one for a year.
I remember listening to this album for the first time after Americana. Obviously, Americana was the album that got me into the Offspring, and I went back and did all that stuff. But Conspiracy of One, man, has some fucking belters on it. And this is one of the better ones, to be honest.
The
It's-
best one.
Like, I listen to this and I go, this is, I'm going to say it now because it's going to come up later. I think there are three eras of pop punk. There are, in the 90s, you've got the sort of scrappy pop punk that comes from the Descendants. In the late 90s,
Yep.
early 2000s, you've got the pop punk that comes from like Green Day and Blink-182, the real college pop punk, which
Yep.
is what this is emulating, even though this band bridged the gap. And then in the mid 2000s, you've got the more emo tinged pop punk. Of the Blink-182 era, of as it were, this is better than anything Blink-182 did. I think this is probably the best song of that era. because the whole point of that era of pop punk was catchy chorus. Well, this has got one. And good vocal performance. This has got one. And really
Good production.
Good production with well-played guitar parts. I mean, for me, this was, like I say, this is my third favourite track on the list.
It's a very good song, but it's not my personal... It's not what I want to put forward for The Offspring. It's not even close to what I would have put forward for The Offspring. But the bottom line is, when this came out back in the day, when I was 16, this was the tits.
It does hold up. I've listened to quite a lot of Offspring in the last week or so. And Smash, their 994 album, that's brilliant. Ixnay on the Ombre is also brilliant.
Ixnay is my favourite.
Yeah, I love those albums, but I don't quite get the poppiness from them. They're very much their own thing.
They are, like Tom said, almost a mixture between grunge and pop punk. They are that sort of crossover, like Smash in particular. Like Self-Esteem on Smash is my favourite Offspring song. And
yeah, it's a great song.
I was a bit disappointed you didn't go for that one personally, because it's got more edge to it.
Cool to Hate. That's the best song.
I love Gone Away as well. Yeah.
Gone Away has a massive place in my heart, because I remember the first time ever we tried to make a band. It's when I first started, I started playing bass guitar. And it was
bass guitar.
Bass guitar, yeah. And my friend Wayne, he started playing drums, and our friend Tom started playing guitar, and I was playing bass. And we spent all day writing a song we all loved. We were like, oh man, this sounds amazing. This is like the best song ever made. And then we realized we literally just made Gone Away by The Offspring. And there's no way, it's a really simple riff. Anyone can learn it. Anyway, Gone Away is maybe the best Offspring song because it's that good.
It is brilliant.
Sorry, go on.
Play is another good one. Smash is my favourite album by far.
I prefer it. I think Smash has got some incredible songs. The Offspring were like my favourite band for 5 to 6, maybe 7 years straight. But I don't know, Ixnay is better. I think Ixnay is better.
I'll always go for something that is more poppy, just due to my general tastes. So that's why I've ended up with this one on the list as opposed to one of their more punky, alt-rocky songs.
It is one of the better songs on the album. I would say it's in the top 3 or 4 on the album.
Yeah, remember that in the 90s, so like our age group, Offspring, for a lot of us, was like the first introduction to rock music.
Yeah, it
but
was to me.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I started on rock music so my parents' record collection was really like interesting, and I was introduced to rock music by my piano teacher when I started having piano lessons when I was 4. We were exchanging records, and I was going and buying records. So, like, I would be 4 or 5 buying Pumpkins records. At the time Offspring's first album came out, I was really into Idlewild because the Captain EP had come out, and like Husker Du and stuff like that. And then 96, I got really into Placebo. And so everything that I liked in the 90s tended to be much darker, probably because my piano teacher is a huge Cure fan. So for me, Offspring always felt a bit light. I only listen back to it now because I was into really dark, heavy stuff. My piano teacher took me to see Machine Head. Must have been late 90s, I think, probably. And so I was really into much heavier stuff by that point when Offspring came out, and it seemed like pop fluff. And I'm only getting into it now. And I know it's more than that. I just want to interrupt you, because for me, the Offspring is the band that got me into harder rock. I remember, I think I said it on a previous podcast. I think it was in 1993. I can't remember the Top of the Pops when they did what's it called now?
Great Fly for
White Guy. I remember listening to that.
That's 90. That's way later.
97.
By then
it's later than that.
No,
Yeah,
I think it's
98.
98
Americana came out.
Okay, whenever it came out. So let's say 1998, Top of the Pops in the UK. That was the actual song that got me into rock music. And I'm not saying it's their best song. I'm not saying it's the thing that best represents them. But the Offspring, for me, are probably the best punk band ever. So, and that's really hard for me to say, because I love so many more.
You're saying they're important.
No, I would never say that.
For our generation, the Offspring were the gateway band to rock music for a lot of people.
Yes.
But I was into heavier stuff than that already. So
No,
for
you
me,
weren't. You're into wank stuff.
I thought you were going to say Wham. I thought you were going to say Wham.
wasn't
No,
it?
I was
No,
just
no,
a
no.
Wham.
Shittier.
I was into like heavier stuff. Like I remember my dad borrowed like the first Black Sabbath album off my mate's dad, and I listened to that when I was probably 9 or 10 or something. So I was into Black Sabbath at the point that Pretty Fly for a White Guy came out. But I saw that on Top of the Pops, and that was the first single I ever bought because it was fucking brilliant.
I didn't know that was your first thing you ever bought.
Yeah.
The fun in music didn't resonate with me at that time. I was much more into stuff that was a bit more dour. So I think the fact it was like happy and poppy and light-hearted, I wasn't really into that at the time. I was a really pretentious fucking 10-year-old when that came out.
Conspiracy of One came out. That was their big follow-up for most people in their teens who listened to Americana. And it was a good album as well. They delivered. It was a really good album. And this was in the top 4 of the songs. And it was a big single of it as well. And it was so good. Like to this day, like if anyone says to me like, oh, it's a bit too poppy, it's a bit too... No, it is a good song. It's catchy. I'm glad it's in the top 10.
Yeah.
Going in, when I knew that you'd picked it, I was almost immediately writing it off, going, I know that song, it's really a bit too poppy. And then I listened to it again and went, oh, actually, the riff in it is way better than I remember.
Yeah.
And I bumped it up. I only gave it a 6, but originally I was like, it's a 4. It's too poppy.
Oh, fuck you, a 6? A 6? Oh, no, I accept a
I was annoyed
6.5
maybe.
maybe.
A better Offspring song. That's why.
Yeah, but everyone knows it's better, but all the picks who've got their better songs, there's no way around it.
I do think in hindsight, maybe I was a bit unfair.
It was a good song. It's a good song. It's just no way around it. It is a good song. What do you reckon, Martyn?
I rate the Offspring highly. They were the biggest selling independent band of their time when they released the album.
Did they not still have a record with Smash?
Yeah,
I think they did.
I think
the biggest selling independent album of all time.
Exactly. And it was different. It did actually bring in a shift in a tone of music that was... You got to remember, I was into grunge. I'm a lot older than you guys, different generation.
We're painfully aware of it, yes.
Yeah, I know. So music was really slow and like heavy, and then suddenly you had this energetic band that came in. It was just like kind of, but they also fit. They fit with the grunge aesthetic. They fit with the like surfer kids who are like the alternative crowd. They didn't seem out of place at all.
Also, on their way up, like they were a punk band. It's like they were in the same conversation as like early No Effects and like Bad Religion. It was early enough where there was no such thing as pop punk when they first came around. Like the thing that made them pop punk was Americana. Like prior to that, they were just unheard of.
Their success helped them to go into that territory. I think they were a hardcore punk band, and they were really true to their punk roots. And the more successful they got, what can you do? The more rich you get. You have to write songs about the lifestyle that you're living. And
similarly to how we were talking about Dr. Dre last time.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think that's the Offspring to me. It's like they were a bunch of kids in a garage playing punk songs, and suddenly they got fucking thousands upon thousands of pounds thrown at them, dollars, I guess, thrown at them, and their lifestyle changed. So what are they going to sing about? And they're going to sing about the lifestyle that they had fallen into. And I have so much respect for the Offspring because they showed that you are able to just be a bunch of teenagers with big baggy shorts and punky hair in a garage, and you can make it big. You can. It is possible. And also, it's a similar story to Sum 41, Blink-182, Green Day, all those bands. They were one of the first bands to go, you can bridge that gap between the misery of grunge into going, no, I don't want to talk about the misery. I don't want to talk about depression. Still have a little bit of that in there.
In 9th position, scoring 48.8 points, so just 0.2 ahead. This is a track that came out in the summer of 2004 and peaked at number 19 on the UK singles chart. It's from the band's sophomore album, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
Only made number 9.
Produced by Howard Benson, it is My Chemical Romance with Tom's selection this evening, being a song we actually decided in the last episode was an undeniable banger. I'm not okay, I promise. Firstly, have we got to take this off the list?
I don't think
Does that
so.
mean we've got 8 more undeniable bangers?
Keep it on.
It is pop punk. It was really emo, but there is definitely a grey area between them. And
It's emo as fuck.
No,
It's
so
totally emo.
hang on. So emo is not and has never been a genre. Emo is a pejorative term used to describe music made by men whining about women.
Shed rock.
Yeah,
I disagree. No, I
No, there are
disagree.
bands that
I
are considered emo
disagree too.
I
bands.
disagree. Emo
Like
is a definite genre.
Yeah,
Like
emo
Texas
is
is
a
the reason.
definite
Hey
genre.
Mercedes,
Hawthorne
like American
Heights.
football, they're considered emo bands, and they're around before all of this.
Yeah, but Sunny Day Real Estate were considered an emo band, and this sounds nothing like Sunny Day Real Estate.
Fugazi.
Yeah, Fugazi are post-hardcore.
What you've got to talk about is the different waves of emo, and
Yeah.
MCR, third wave emo, and which
they're
is all
also-
about the floppy hair, eyeliner.
But
Yeah,
this
but
is-
they popularized that. As
Yeah.
in,
Yeah, exactly.
Prior to My Chemical Romance, that like
Yeah.
I know had like Down and like with Blink-182, they put on this shit, and American Idiot, they put on that stuff. But
Yeah, they
My
went
Chemical
emo.
Romance popularized it.
They made it a commercial selling tool. I'm going to just sell my music to 14-year-old girls. MCR are in that universe.
No, I disagree because
I
prior to that was
completely
AFI.
disagree.
There was like the Misfits. So it was just anyway.
So if you emo at the time when 3 Tears for Sweet Revenge came out, emo was bands like Funeral for a Friend and Finch
Yep.
and Jimmy Eat World. That was emo at the time.
That's second wave emo.
no,
man.
no.
That hurt when you said Jimmy World. Then that hurt.
They came out in the same year that 3 Tears for Sweet Revenge came out.
Jimmy
It was
World
the
aren't
same
emo.
year.
I need you to.
No,
I need to hear you say it.
Okay, Jimmy Eat World aren't emo, but
Okay, right, continue.
it's, you know,
Now say My Chemical Romance are not pop punk.
They're not a pop punk band, but this song is pop punk.
Yeah.
this song is a pop punk song.
I will give you as much as it's an emo song with pop punk elements. That's as far as I'll go.
Everything about this song is as pop punk as anything else on this list. And this is my favourite song on this list of 30.
It's also mine.
I'm surprised it got so low. Who tanked it?
This was the only 10 that I scored on the whole list.
And mine as well.
I gave it a 6. I think the only thing I liked about it was the guitar tone. The
Hold on,
production is
so-
perfect.
If Whittle, Tom, and you gave it quite high, I gave it pretty high.
I gave it an 8.
You
I
gave it an
really
eight.
like. I really like this song, but I was voting on it as a pop punk song, and it's not a very good pop punk song because it's not
No,
pop punk.
it's
So I
not.
gave it a lower score to account for that.
What do you give it?
I don't know. What did I give it, Will?
You gave a 5.6.
Wow.
wow.
So it's number, 9?
I think it was lower at first.
It just shows, doesn't it, how high the scoring is going to be? Because we are messing with nostalgia here.
That's the interesting thing is because I think I'm in the minority here in the sense that I listen to all these songs without any hint of nostalgia. I did not like any of these songs when I was younger growing up because I probably didn't hear them. I was probably listening to Soundgarden instead. But I listened to them and I was like literally scoring them on pure musicality. And it is a great song. It's cool. I love the guitar tones on it. I love the production, but it's fucking boring. It's
This song
really
is not
boring.
boring.
It's so
This
not
is-
boring.
It
I
is
think it
so
might have one of
dull.
the best choruses ever written.
Yeah, I agree. I think it
God.
really does.
Gerard
yes.
Way's vocal performance is up there. It's one of those that's so
Yeah.
idiosyncratic that it can't be imitated, and no one else should
I
ever touch that
also
song.
think it's...
But that's my point entirely. It's like each individual part of the song is great. It's so well produced. It's so well written. It's so well played. But I just got nothing out of it. And I think that's my theme in this whole podcast is I just didn't connect with it in any way. It doesn't speak to me. It doesn't.
It's not aimed
It's
at
It's
you.
not
just-
for you.
It's just
not
that it's
aimed at
not
you.
aimed at me. I'm not his target market. And
So you like
rock
rock
song-
music, it should be aimed at you.
You stopped wearing guyliner in 1983.
Yeah. At what
exactly.
point in your music development you decide that if it sounded a bit nasally and a bit wienery, you didn't like it?
Back when that song came out, I was listening to Radiohead, and that says a lot. I think it's just, I'm in a different place. I think that's the beautiful thing about pop punk, and I've developed an amazing appreciation for it, is because it's a nostalgia that I could never have.
I'm
I
very
could
much in the
never
opinion-
understand.
I'm very much in the opinion, pop punk, unlike a lot of genres, didn't die. Like you
No,
will
I
still
don't think it
listen to
did.
bands to this day that still play the exact same music we liked back in the day. I've watched neck deep support bands I've liked 3 times now, and it is pure pop punk, and everyone likes them.
It doesn't have any cultural relevance now, though. It's very much an underground niche kind of nostalgia wheel turning exercise. Whereas 94 to 2004, pretty much when this song comes out, this is one of the last mainstream songs that can't even be called pop punk by.
Let's call it American Pie music.
Yeah, it's
like American Pie music.
This was a culture at the time. It was all about these kind of songs. They don't have that now. It's chasing a limited market, I think.
The reason I picked this song is, so this came out in 2004, didn't it? I went to uni in 2005, and I broke up with my first ever girlfriend about mid-2006. The thing with MCR is that MCR in 2006 and 2007, if you look at there was a poll, and MCR, I think it was Kerrang! MCR won both Best Band and Worst Band 2 years running. They really they really did. This actually happened. And when MCR brought this album out, I was a bit like, all right, shit, music for 14-year-old girls who were wearing Slipknot hoodies and too much eyeliner. That was what MCR was in 2004. Yeah.
Black Parade came out and was amazing.
Once the album had been around for a year or two, it was like, actually, this is a really good album. It's a bit like the band Him. They were another band that was for girls in Slipknot hoodies with too much eyeliner, or Nirvana hoodies with too much eyeliner.
People that just liked Bam Margera.
I disagree, because in hindsight, it was always that. It never got past that.
So, whereas, like, I see Him, there are some really good tracks on some of their albums. And this band are the same. This album is, 3 Tears for Sweet Revenge, is actually a really good album. It's a concept album where all the tracks are trying to tell a story. And the story is stupid, but then Gerard Way is a comic book writer and was a comic book writer before MCR took off. And then he wrote The Umbrella Academy that's on Netflix.
Yeah, he's got a penchant for the melodrama.
Yeah, he does.
Crap.
I really enjoyed it, but it's so with this album, he's written this whole like concept album, but this track particularly, and I think MCR, if when I was going through a breakup, MCR is like the perfect breakup band because
no, they're not. Red House Painters are.
No, if you listen to Red House Painters on a breakup, you won't. If you listen to Red House Painters on a breakup, you will not survive.
That's a suicide waiting to happen.
I was like king of breakup. He would know the exact fucking song you would need.
No, yeah. 3 Tears for Sweet Revenge is. There's a lot of pop punk in it, and this track is a pop punk song. But
it is a pop punk song.
Yes, there's a lot of emo in this album as well. But this song and one of the other songs I nominated, which probably won't make the top 10, so I might mention it, still turned pop punk into this emo inflected thing that we discovered that came later, which is when I got into it. And it's just great. There's like the vocal performance on this track is out of this world. It's so overwrought. It's so overdone. It almost, part of it seems like he cares so much about what he's singing, and the other part of it feels like he's putting on a show. But either way, it's still great. The guitars go from being like utterly ridiculous to that dual guitar solo. I remember reading an interview with MCR where one of them was talking about how I'm a punk guitarist, and the other one was like, I'm really into Led Zeppelin. And so how every one of their songs had to have at least a little bit of both of them in it.
The guitar, there is one person I think of when I hear that guitar tone, and that is Brian May. It sounds like a Queen guitar solo, and it makes me think that, I wish all Queen songs sounded like this.
Yeah.
It would suit Freddie Mercury as well.
Yeah. And then they've got that piano breakdown in the middle. This song is my favourite on the list by a long way, and I stick with it.
I think it was a good choice, and I listened to it from a pure musician's point of view, and I appreciated it.
Who's the musician?
God. Yeah, I know.
Dan, any thoughts?
I see the debate between whether this is pop punk or not, and quite frankly, I don't care because I like it so much. I did score an 8 rather than something higher because I wasn't quite sure if it fit.
Yeah,
but I think it speaks to the quality of the song that I still scored it an 8, even though I wasn't convinced it belonged in the genre. I really like MCR. I love The Black Parade.
Yeah, I like that too.
Welcome to the Black Parade is one of my favourite songs, probably ever.
Undeniable banger.
The way it goes from one bit to another.
No,
Tom
it's
doesn't
not.
like it because it's fine. That's okay. People like different things.
I like their
all
second
okay.
album, and that's the only one I like, but it's fine. I get why people like the album afterwards.
That would have been the choice I would have made. This song is a pop punk song, like you said. Whether they're a pop punk band or not, no, probably not. But the song has elements for sure, and
Yeah.
deserves to be here.
It's one of those genres where there's a lot of grey areas, especially when it was creeping towards the emo years.
Yeah.
There are a few
Well-
bands that we would have liked to put on, but they are just emos. So
There's definitely, like Tom said earlier, there's definitely time periods where the genre morphs.
In 8th position and scoring 49.1 points, so that's plus 0.3 ahead. Taking heavy influence from the ska sounds of Sublime, this track was produced by Jay Rifkin and John Avila. This is the re-recorded version made in 1996 for the album Turn the Radio Off, and was later featured in the 1998 David Zucker directed Basketball, starring Trey Parker and Matt Stone, on which they also covered Take On Me. This is my choice of ska punk song from the late 90s. It is, of course, Beer by American ska punk band Real Big Fish. I picked this because I remember it being played at house parties everywhere.
undeniable banger.
Yeah, it still packs
Yeah.
a punch now. It is an undeniable banger.
Is
Absolutely.
ska punk pop punk?
It's ska punk, but the punk elements are taken from the pop punk trends of the time. And Real Big Fish were playing on tours with all the pop punk bands.
They're all on the Warped tours and all
Yeah,
that.
they're all doing the Warped Tour. So for my 2 cents, it definitely classifies as
It's pop punk with like brass instruments.
with horns. Yeah,
The problem is, like,
Yeah.
pop punk, there are a few different genres in it, and there's a big ska, power punk pop,
Yeah,
and this
so-
is definitely punk pop. This is definitely from the same era. This is definitely a fucking belter, and I'm actually surprised it's not higher up. I thought it might win.
My thing is, if ska punk was allowed, I'd have nominated No Comply.
No, because they're not very good. We'd have done Sponge. 'cause they're better.
Yeah, or Sponge.
That's a
Crap,
perfect
Tom,
example
fuck you.
because Sponge are a ska punk band, but they're not pop punk at all. And if
No.
anyone had nominated Sponge, we'd have shat on it.
My brother was massively into Real Big Fish, so I know their entire back catalogue. They are definitely punk pop with ska. Most of their songs
Okay.
are punk pop.
Yeah.
Like No Comply are just some weird emo, we do metal riffs sometimes band, and yeah, fuck them.
They were great
rubbish, they were
live.
terrible
They were
vocalists
great
and
live
whatever.
in the 90s.
Yeah, but only because they're one of the few bands that like actually toured the UK a lot.
And
back
came to
then.
Plymouth a lot.
Exactly. So there's like they're not that good.
Real Big Fish's other single from the album, Sell Out, was also on the FIFA 2000 soundtrack, so they definitely got mainstream attention. Basketball was a flop, and not many people saw it. I love that fucking movie.
I do, mate.
It's
So
quite
good.
problematic now.
Shut squeak, little bitch.
Yeah, so, some of the jokes don't hold up so well, but I appreciate the nostalgia of that movie. Their sound was a big part of that 98, 2000s era. They were everywhere. I think they're deserving to be on this list.
I think this is my fourth highest scoring one. I'm not sure. It's just that good. It's just catchy. It's great. Everyone loves beer. What's that not like?
You're like, who tanked this song?
Someone tanked it because I really
someone
gave
must
this
have
high.
tanked
Give it a 9, not me.
I didn't tank it. I didn't score it massively high. but I
Mine
didn't
tanked
tank
it.
Martyn trying to look inconspicuous there. He scored it a 5. Martyn, why didn't you like this one?
Martyn.
I don't like ska punk. End of. I love first wave ska. I love dub reggae. I love
Name two.
the specials. Yeah, name two. I love specials and all those bands from back in the day. But
That's
I
only
don't
one. Name
like.
two.
I don't like any ska that has come after that first wave. It's just not my thing. I get it, and actually, I'm listening to you guys talking about it. I'm like quite jealous because I missed out on quite a lot of fun music by the sounds of it. It sounded like kids going, I am fed up with being depressed. I am now going to just go out and have a fucking party around a pool. You know what I mean? And I think that's what a lot of the stuff you're talking about represent.
I absolutely love Real Big Fish. They're one of my favourite bands to see live because it's just non-stop fun, start to finish, and everyone is skanking.
That's what I was
So,
going to
yeah,
say. Great band to skank to.
They're amazing. I absolutely love this song as well.
When it comes to punk ska and punk pop ska, I personally think it is in the punk genre. So they are. I personally think they're better than Sublime. I don't think Sublime are as good as Real Big Fish.
I like more Real Big Fish songs than I like Sublime songs.
I personally think Sublime are a bit overrated. It's the fact that he died is the thing that made him so good.
I prefer Less Than Jake. My Boss Stones are also pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, My Mind Boss Stones didn't have that many albums, did they? They had, 2 albums that kind of made their sound, and after that they released one every 10 years. Because I think they were because it was more of a supergroup, wasn't it? Yeah, Less Than Jake, I personally prefer to Real Big Fish, but Real Big Fish have probably got better songs. Less Than Jake have more better songs. Real Big Fish, their bangers are better than Less Than Jake. You know what I mean?
All My Best Friends Are Metalhead is incredible, and
I
it should have
think-
been
I
released.
In 7th position and scoring 49.7 points, so 0.06 ahead. This song is our first. This song is our first Australian entry on this list. Released in the summer of 2000, the most exposure this song received was being featured on the soundtrack to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. It's the band Body Jar.
What a song.
It's another of my own choices. The song is called Not the Same from the album How It Works. The song was my summer of 2000 playing that game. Whilst it was not my favourite song on the soundtrack, there is something about the tone of the guitar and the descending chord pattern that just makes it perfect for guiding a block face polygon on a skateboard down an impossibly long rail at an airport.
There are a few better songs like Tony Hawk's overall, but like that one there probably sums up best Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It's so good. It's just so good.
It's got a great melody as well. It's really catchy. The vocals are just the right tone. And yeah, it just reminds me of racking up insane points combos on Tony Hawk's 3, which is how I spent. I think it came out in 2001, the game. That's how I spent that summer. And this song will always just remind me of that period in my life. It's nostalgia kicking in alone, probably, but listening back to the song, it's just really catchy. It's perfect as a pop punk song.
It's just that good. It is exactly what you said. It's pop punk. That is the sound. And that is a very good example of it.
Yeah, it's got also the lyrical theme is a very typical pop punk theme. It's a breakup song from the perspective of somebody who may as well be in high school. To be a pop punk song, you have to be it's generally about a breakup or school or American high school, even though these guys are Australian. But
I didn't know they were Australian, to be honest, before.
When you said that, I was like, who the fuck's this going to be?
Exactly, yeah.
I knew they were Australian.
If you listen to it back now that you know they're Australian, you can tell, though, the guy's got a very distinct cadence to his voice.
I'll have to listen again.
It's got that, or you can almost hear that like upwards inflection that Australians have in their voice. So it does sound Australian.
You're not the same. You just changed.
I just want to sing the song to you. I'm not going to.
Go for it.
You're not the same. You just changed.
Anyway, you're not the person.
What a song.
Yeah, it's catchy.
Wow. I haven't actually heard this song since 2001, 2002, whenever I last played Tony Hawk's 3. Actually, that's a lie. I got my PlayStation 2 back out about 2 years ago. Had to buy a new memory card just to play Tony Hawk's 3.
Yeah.
And this song isn't one that really was one. If you said to me, pick a good Tony Hawk song, I don't think I would have mentioned this one. But as soon as I listened to it again for this exercise, I was like, yes, this song is incredible. It's so fun. And it's just got a bit of a unique sound to it. Yes, it's about similar themes, breaking up with your girlfriend, whatever. But the unique sort of sound to the actual music is brilliant. It's so fun.
I'm wondering who tanked this one, because I gave it a pretty high score.
The lowest score on the list was surprise, surprise. It was Martyn with a 6.
I gave it a 10.
Martyn, did you play any Tony Hawk games on the PlayStation or PlayStation 2? On a Commodore. It didn't come out of the Commodore, so you might not know it.
I didn't have computer games as a kid. I was a poor kid. I didn't have computer games.
This came out when you were an adult.
I was learning to play guitar while you were fucking playing around with
But like,
boxes and shit.
Well, why
Well,
would you
like-
better then?
You were there doing your Minecraft shit.
You gave up playing guitar in 84.
let me take you back to 1982 when E.T. was about to tank the gaming industry. You had Pong. Now, can you imagine how much better Pong would have been with Body Jar playing over the top of it?
Yeah, it would have been a lot better.
There
But I
you go.
didn't have Pong.
When I was 40 and Pong came out, it was a big game changer.
I don't even know what Pong is.
What? Who doesn't know what Pong is? That's
What
like,
is Pong?
Do you know what bums me out the most? Is that it's our first video podcast where people can see our faces. And we're making fun of Martyn being older than all of us, but he looks younger than every one of us.
Yeah, that is true.
anybody have enough to add for Body Jar? And
What's
not
it
the
about?
same?
It's that good. It's just a really catchy song. It should be in the top 20 overall best pop punk songs ever made.
Well, it's in the top 10.
It's in the top 10, but I'm just saying, even if it was my picks, it would be in the top 20 because it sums up pop punk perfectly in a very good way. How can you listen to that and not find it catchy? Which is what pop punk is. Like, the best songs for a pop punk catalogue is catchy. It's what makes pop punk good. It's just that catchy.
I hadn't listened to it since I was a kid. And when you nominated it, I knew I recognised it. I knew it was from Tony Hawk, but I couldn't remember which song it was. And I stuck it on. I was like, it's this song.
Yeah.
I love this song. And I've just looked at what I scored it, and it should be higher up the list because I've half tanked this song by mistake.
Oh.
I've given it a
James,
7.6
you're not the
apparently.
same.
Why,
You just
why have I-
changed.
We don't need you
why have
anyway.
I given it a
James.
7.6? Should be way higher.
I did think that was quite low, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, you scored it lower than I did. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I must
I
have
put this in
must
the
have had a
eights.
brain fart.
In sixth position, scoring 50.7 points, so a point ahead. One of the bigger names on this list, and perhaps the most widely known song among the pop-consuming public. This song is one of Tom's choices and reached number 2 on the UK singles chart and number 6 on the US Billboard Hot 100. From the 1999 album Enema of the State, this tune was featured in the 2010 list of 1001 songs you must hear before you die and later covered in 2011 by Jedward. It's Blink-182's All the Small Things.
Hang on, I just need to also point out that John Lewis have ruined it even worse this year.
Yes, they have.
Who have they got singing it?
What a terrible travesty
It
that
doesn't
is.
matter, it's still shit.
We all know there are better pop punk songs, but this is the pop punk song. I would have maybe given it low, but this is the song that launched pop punk to the mainstream.
Yeah.
I hate this term, but it's fucking important.
It is.
I hate it, but
Drink,
it is.
drink.
It is absolutely this is the pop punk song.
If you asked an AI to write a Blink-182 song, this is how it would come out. It's got the dual vocals with Mark and Tom. It's the right length. It's catchy enough. Verse, chorus, and a na-na-na-na-na outro. Yeah, it's perfect. It's an undeniable banger.
Yeah, I agree.
It's nowhere near their best song.
No,
nowhere near.
it's not.
It's not the best song on the album. Like it's
No.
just.
No, but
Is
that's
it-
not what an undeniable banger is.
But it's
Yeah,
the
that doesn't
song
matter.
that launched the entire genre.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. The point is, you're right, Al. It is literally the best pop punk song ever
No, I
made.
didn't say best.
No, it's not the best. It's the quintessential.
It so is. It is.
Yeah.
If aliens
It's lowest
came down
common
to Earth and were
denominator.
like, "Can you show us what punk means?" You would play them that song.
If you meet someone and you say, I really like pop punk, and they go, I don't know what pop punk is,
Yes.
you'll say All the Small Things, and they'll go, oh, yeah, now I know what pop punk is.
Yeah.
But I don't really like the song that much.
It's a great song. Like the lyrics are terrible.
All
Like, everything
Blink-182
about it is
lyrics are
terrible.
No, man, like, I disagree with you. I think the lyrics are nonsense because I don't give a shit what teenagers are saying these days. But like
You're
the
just so far
fucking
past
music, the music is so perfect. The fucking chords, everything about that song is absolutely spot on.
Exactly. What annoys me most about this list is what is or what isn't punk pop.
Yeah.
This song, it's got all the punk riffs you want. It's got all the gang vocals you want. That makes it fucking punk. But it is easily the most pop song on this
It's
list.
very poppy.
But it is the quintessential pop punk song. There's not one more song that is more pop punk than this song ever made, ever.
I agree with that.
You
No.
can't get out of your head the na 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 lyrics. Are
Yeah.
just the best bit about the whole song. The
I would also
production.
argue that Tom DeLonge's vocals is punk pop. Like his nasally style of vocals is exactly what every other pop punk band have emulated.
Yeah,
Like,
Tom DeLonge's vocals are to pop punk similar to James Brown's vocals are to funk.
exactly.
It's that sound.
It is the sound.
It's that important.
It is important. I hate saying that. It is.
I nominated this track because I thought none of you would. And I was right. It's not even the best song on Enema of the State, which is probably one of the only... This and Nimrod by Green Day are probably the only two pop punk albums I actually own. But
Nimrod's good album.
Yeah, Nimrod is Green Day's best album.
Yeah, Nimrod's
by,
great.
by a long way. But
It's not as good as Dookie.
Oh, see,
I
I prefer
disagree, but go
Nimrod.
on.
Yeah, but when it was best pop punk songs of all time, now Dan knows whenever we do these best of 91, best of 1987, I always do quite well on them because I look at this from the perspective of having worked in journalism. And so I'm like, best pop punk songs, All the Small Things has got to be on the list somewhere because this is the song that, as you said, Al, everybody knows.
If I wrote a song like that, I would be fucking proud of myself.
You'll
Is
also be
anyone
really
else as
rich.
blown away that he said that as much as I
Yeah, I
am?
am a little bit.
Really? I thought you would love it. I thought you'd just be like, I thought you'd be on the fuck them.
No,
list, you know
not
what
at
I
all.
mean? Like,
Martyn gave the song a 10.
Yeah,
Really?
yes.
Martyn,
yes,
you feeling all
good
right,
man.
mate?
I know, right?
I gave it high,
But-
but Jesus.
Also, look at the video, man. It was like a zeitgeist that was happening.
It's a pastiche of the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were pastiching
The White
all of the pop
Temptations.
culture references.
Yeah.
But they were part of that pop culture references. They knew it, and they were just so self-aware. I've never seen a band more self-aware since probably Nirvana. Probably, I don't think I've seen a more self-aware band like Blink-182 than early 90s grunge. They know their place in the world and what they did with it.
The only negative is they knew exactly what they were doing.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
That is exactly the point.
Like,
That's the point.
They were disowned by a lot of because the album
Prior
before
to
this
it,
was
the
very
albums
punk.
before
Yeah.
this are better.
Yeah.
They are better.
Yeah, they were fully disowned by the punk community for being corporate shills, and they are, but they knew they were doing that, and they made Enema of the State, which is Enema of the State.
That's what I
is a
like
great
about
album.
them. Their authenticity came through. They were like, we're making it big, and we are going to fucking enjoy it. And they were still doing it with that tongue-in-cheek, taking the piss out of other bands that were doing exactly the same thing.
Like the two albums, like Cheshire Cat and French before it, are way more punky. This is in the middle, and then you've got Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, which is just completely poppy.
Yeah.
I
And
actually
then
prefer Take Off Your
self-titled
Pants
and stuff
Jacket.
like that goes in a totally new direction. But this is like that middle one. The problem with this song for me is, yes, they knew exactly what they were doing, but it was almost a prelude to the rock show and first date of it.
Yeah.
Ultimately poppy, over the top, produced for record label sort of song. So yes, this is a good pop punk song.
It's what turned them to Stadium Rock.
It is, and that's for me why I didn't give it a really high score, because I thought it's the downfall almost.
I'm pretty upset it hasn't made number one. It should be number one. It is literally, like Al said, it's pop punk defined.
It has a happy ending because Blink-182 are back now with Tom DeLonge, and they have an album coming out next year, although I'm not too keen on edging.
I had to get tickets. It was
Oh,
impossible.
fuck off. I actually really like it.
I don't like the auto-tune on Tom DeLonge's voice. in
The fact
chorus.
is, the new stuff is a little irritating because Tom DeLonge decided one day when we've had, it was in Angels and Airwaves.
Airwaves.
Yeah.
He decided that he will not sing properly anymore. He will try and actually be in tone and not punk at all. So he's gone that route of just trying to sing despite he can't sing. And
Yeah.
it's ruined everything because he can't sing. Just fucking scream you can't sing and go with it, and then it'd be great. But he's not doing it anymore.
In fifth place and scoring 50.9 points, 0.02 ahead, released in late 2001 on Vagrant Records, the fifth place
what,
song
me?
is Al's first entry on tonight's list, produced by Matt Allison and the 3 band members themselves. From Here to Infirmary is the third album from Chicago pop punk group Alkaline Trio, and the song featured is called Private Eye. Al.
Wow. Some people here must
This
have
song
scored that
fucking
really high.
rules. I'm glad I made it through. I know I'm a first stupid kid because he's an idiot, but yeah.
This is
Just
better
more
than
fun.
Stupid Kid.
Stupid Kid more fun, but this is
No,
a
it's not
great
like
song.
either.
Oh my god, I fucking love the lyrics. Like this song I love the most because one is just punk as fuck, like palm muting all round. You know, if you're not palm muting, it's barely punk pop.
I'm not an Alkaline Trio fan at all.
Love Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, I was going to say you must do because this song has made it above others that were universally liked, and I scored this song quite low.
This was I think it was just 9.8 for me, 9.9. Like I didn't give it a 10 because the Linoleum by No Effects got a 10.
Yeah, you scored it at 9.9, yeah.
Yes. The only reason I took it down by a point was because they repeat the second verse. That was it. This song is the riff is cool. Like I like that shit, but the lyrics are so good and it's catchy.
I disagree with you strongly there. I think that the chorus is weak. That I can't
I'm with
stop you
Dan.
from saying I love cops. I'm like, what is this song even about? It's just weird. Don't feel anything from it.
So
I really
why it
like
was
the
so low
music.
then?
I scored it at 7.4, which is a decent score.
I'm sorry. Private Eye might have, of all the pop punk songs we've had, might have the most catchy lyrics of all time. Okay, and the riff is fucking sweet.
The riff's
and,
great.
and the chorus, you don't even need a chorus for this song. Like the chorus is okay, but the verses is what makes this song. Like a New Year's Eve was.
The verses are better than the chorus. For
Well,
sure.
but the lyrics are so fucking dark and so cool. It's like, new, it's boring, it's heaven. I watch flies fuck on channel 11. There was no one to kiss. There's nothing to drink except an old rotten milk that was left in the sink. And there's a singing. Oh, fuck you guys. This song is that good. It's the best Alkaline Trio song. And it's that good.
At the right place at the right time.
Yeah, wrong, you'll be just fine. Oh, it's just it's so amazingly morbid, but weirdly uplifting. And when me and James used to live together, we were talking about like bands we like. And I showed James Alkaline Trio. And prior to this, I said to him, he goes, they're okay, they're pretty good. I said, have you ever heard the lyrics? And it's the first time James said to me, because I never really listened to punk lyrics that much. He went for a massive bender of Alkaline Trio because all of their lyrics are fucking sweet and really dark and amazing. And fucking nailed a palm muting throughout this entire song. And what else is there? What else you need? Like, this is the most popular song on this list that isn't outright pop. This is just morbid and just a good fucking shred.
Yeah, this isn't mainstream compared to, say, All the Small Things is mainstream.
But I'm actually surprised to make the top. I'm surprised to make the top 10 because me personally,
top 5.
This is borderline my favorite punk song of all time. So I'm actually really. The reason it's here is probably because I gave it like a 9.9. So I'm very aware that this is owl bias.
Well, Dan Bellin scored it a 10.
Yes,
I gave a few 10s out, to be fair.
Yeah, why
just
wouldn't
listening
you?
to all of these
What do
songs
you
was like
reckon?
pure nostalgia. This song, like you said, it's a great mix of not excellent lyrics, but excellent sound. It's weirdly dark, but also upbeat at the same time.
Yep.
And that's what I
Some
quite
stuff
enjoy.
we like about punk pop. Not all punk pop is about, oh, fuck my girlfriend dumped me. You can completely. That's why I love Alkaline. Alkaline Trio are one of my like top 10 bands of all time.
Yeah, sometimes
So,
you can write songs about telling your girlfriend it's okay for her to say that she doesn't like cops.
I would have put Alkaline Trio, I would have put Radio by Alkaline Trio on, but I don't think it's pop punk. But it's about a song about a guy committing suicide by dropping his toaster in a bath. Like, I love their lyrics. Their lyrics are easily.
I also
Best-
really like Matt Skiba. I think
Yes.
he was so good as a Blink-182 stand-in. I
Oh,
can't get over how...
fuck you. Like, how dare you? Wow. How dare you? Like, the fact that do you know people know him now as the guy who was in Blink-182 for
Yeah,
a bit?
but
Yeah,
that's
so
them.
Fucks me off royally because Alkaline Trio are better than fucking Blink-182. Their lyrics are way better. The riffs are better. Everything about Alkaline Trio is better. And oh god, you know
They just don't
I
have
never-
quite the catalogue that Blink-182 have.
No, they
have
did.
a few really
Armageddon.
good songs.
I can't get into it.
Oh, fuck you, Tom. I'm pointing at you on the camera.
Martyn,
I find Matt Skiba's vocal a bit too monotone for me. Like,
Yeah,
he
but
writes
it doesn't
into-
matter. Like, it's punk music. It doesn't matter if it's monster. It doesn't matter if
delivery
it's
of it.
good. It doesn't matter if it's bad. The lyrics are that good. The riffs are that good. It doesn't matter about that.
And the catchy choruses. The catchy choruses don't skip out
are
then.
catchy as fuck. Of course, they ruined
I
it
was
with
just
their
a
like
stupid kid
synth
back
album
then.
when everything went a bit emo and they just decided to do what
Yeah.
AFI did and go a bit twatty. But
That's how I remember them from there.
Yeah,
This is
And
the
it was-
truth
any-
of most of the bands on this
honestly,
list.
I think the album after
Yeah.
From Here into Infirmary. Oh, what's it called?
It's a Good Morning, or
Good
is that-
Morning,
was
yes.
that
Good
before?
Morning was
Good
good as
Morning.
well. Good Morning's really good. Anything after that, I'm not sure about. Good Morning prior is literally the best pop punk you'll ever listen to. The lyrics are so grim. You know when you hear about the Misfits, where it's about Halloween punk, and a bit like AFI, where it's just about morbid vocals.
horrorcore.
Horrorcore, exactly. Alkaline Trio have the best lyrics of any punk pop band ever. It's not even close. Because their lyrics are interesting, they're fun to listen to, because it is morbid and all that stuff. It's not about girlfriends being twatty. It's not about my parents don't understand me. No, it's about me digging up dead bodies because I want to fuck them or something. It's incredible.
I'd say My Chemical Romance did it better, personally.
No, they didn't do it
different
better. You're
things
wrong
together.
in thinking that. And the
Yeah.
fact
Yeah,
is
they,
their
did,
lyrics,
they clearly didn't, because they're lower on this list.
I said personally.
Definitive.
and their lyrics are less intense. Because Alkaline Trio,
I want
they-
intense.
No, I'm saying Michael Romance, they fell short of what was really horrific. Alkaline Trio wrote all about all of it. It's like, it must be a horror film, but in punk pop form. It's so good.
Any more
So
thoughts
good.
from Martyn at all?
Out of my comfort zone.
Mine, did you like it?
Yes, I did. I liked it a lot. I scored it extremely high.
I think it's the most translatable to people who don't know about pop punk. Because it's just da-na-na. Everyone likes just a good straight up fucking palm mute, don't they? If
Yes,
they
I
don't,
do.
what are you doing on a podcast?
That's why I scored it so high. I just really liked the guitar sound. I think it sounded
Yes.
perfect. It was just really greatly produced.
When
You
I was
know,
listening to this
the
today,
guitars sounded fucking immense to me.
The guitar.
and the
singular.
lyrics complemented it so well. And like I was listening today whilst doing my dishes, and I was just there going, "Yes, this is probably the best lyrics of the entire list." It's that good. It reminds me of
didn't know the
Cypress
lyrics.
Hill Pigs on the Cypress Hill 4, but in punk version. So yeah,
In fourth place, scoring 52.3 points, so plus 1.4 ahead. This entry is our first Canadian song of the evening, also featured on the American Pie 2 soundtrack, and the band's debut album All Killer, No Filler, on the 25th of
Really?
September 2001. My fourth entry in tonight's top 10 is
rigged.
In Too Deep by Sum 41. From the classic video to the weird guitar solo by Dave Brown Sound, and perhaps the most memorable chorus on the list. There's not a
Fuck
lot I
off.
don't love about this.
No,
who gave this song over a 7? I'm actually annoyed now. How is this top 4? Who did this? Who did this? I'm actually annoyed. Who did this?
You scored it
Yeah,
over a
Dan.
7, Al. You scored it a 7.3
Yeah, but every other song was a 10. How did this make it so high?
because you scored it the lowest, and then everybody else gave it high scores.
Oh, you bastards. Fat Lip was better than this.
I
It
gave
was
it.
better
What did
than
I give it?
this, but
Oh,
I gave it
fuck off.
7.9. That's not that high.
That's high, too high.
Again, I picked very similarly to The Offspring. I think I've picked what I prefer as their single. So this leads more into pop than pop punk. Fat Lip is more of the punk side. This is
You
more
mean
of
the
the pop
exact
side.
topic we're talking about, yes.
But there's pop in pop punk. If we were doing the top 10 punk
But they're
songs
both
of all
pop
time.
punk songs.
I'm genuinely irritated this is so high.
Well,
What?
it's-
What, this
so-
is better than Private Eye by Alkaline Trio.
Yes.
Like,
yes, it is.
Yeah.
No,
It's not.
nowhere
What are
near.
we talking about, Tom? You think it is?
I do. I prefer it.
What did you give this?
I probably gave it the highest score anybody did.
What did you give? I'm
Yeah.
ready to
Did
judge.
he give it a 10?
Not
No,
quite
I
a
didn't.
10.
It's a 10.
9.7.
But this is-
9.8.
I
Fucking
think-
hell, Tom.
9.7
Yeah.
out of
You-
10.
I think this song is up there with all the small things.
You twat. Really?
I think in the pop punk genre, this song is as important as all the small things.
It's not as important. It wasn't even that biggest single.
It was
the
a big
second
single.
most important
It
song.
wasn't
their
their
biggest
biggest
single.
one, though.
It was their biggest single.
Oh,
It
was
was
it?
their biggest.
It's way
It's
bigger.
not. I don't think it was.
Okay, Tom gave it an over the board result. Fair enough. Who else scored this so high? I need to,
Everybody apart
my,
from you.
My hatred has already risen on Tom.
I gave it the
Who
same
else?
score as Tom. I gave it a
What did you give
9.7. A 9.7.
What?
How?
Because what's not to like about this song? Listen to it,
Oh,
and
my
what,
God.
you listen to In Too Deep by Sum 41, and you don't go, oh,
Don't listen to it because it's not their best song.
just
fucking listen to it, man.
yes, thank you, Martyn. Martyn, you've been saying that you've
But
been
my bet was
getting
really high.
into Sum 41 a fair bit recently. So
Yeah.
you
Did
scored,
Martin
you,
say that?
yes,
Yeah, he did.
you scored this a 9, Martyn. So
Yeah, I did,
Oh,
and
fuck this
quite
list.
rightly. And the reason being is because
Fucking useless. What's
I-
the point?
was in my research, even though all the small things should still be number one, it doesn't matter because this is not my genre. But like, I was looking into the history of Sum 41 and their like beginnings and the way they came through. They were just a bunch of young little kids. They were literally like,
Yeah, we're
It's-
literally 18.
no, more than.
Fuck, I can't even, I'm not, sorry, I can't even listen to Martin describe how, like, this song could be a thing. This song should not be in the top 5.
Oh, yeah, it should. It
It
should.
should- but I'm so annoyed.
shouldn't.
that
the
it
thing is,
shouldn't
Al,
be top-
you've got to look at it from the perspective of people who don't listen exclusively to, or very much,
Yeah,
almost
I-
exclusively to pop punk.
It's not even the top 5 of the album.
But this is for me. But for me, by far and away, this has the best guitar solo on any of the songs. And it's not even close.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's amazing.
I'm
It's
not
so good.
okay has a better guitar solo.
It is
Okay.
a-
Oh, yeah, maybe it's not okay.
The reason why I gave this such a high score is because I actually learned about the history of Sum 41 and everything that they went from. They're a bunch of little kids, they're 10-year-olds in school, and they formed a band and they were shit for ages. And then suddenly they started to get really good and they got a record deal and then they like got fucking cool. And I love the trajectory of this band.
I like this song. I cannot believe it's in the top 5.
Alex, if you think it's average, why did you give it 7.3 instead of 5?
Yeah, that's nostalgia. Nostalgia's a bit. Can you imagine? You got 7.5 with nostalgia. That's how rubbish
God.
it is.
You're all stuck in nostalgia, man. I
Oh.
wish you were playing video games
Fuck
at
you guys.
16 years
I'm
old
so
again.
irritated this is top 5. I'm absolutely livid.
All right.
I think we need to move on before
Well-
Alex loses his cool.
I just want to say,
I've just been told because I'm yelling too much.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either.
I'm absolutely livid. This is top 5.
I can see
I
that.
thought it was a joke song. I thought it was like, oh, I'm get in, but it won't be top 10. Like, how dare it be top 5? Anyway, go on.
The issue I had with this song is similar to All the Small Things in that it's a very safe, poppy, simple song that isn't their best. And that's why I still gave it a high score. But if you'd gone with Fat Lip or if you'd gone with Still Waiting or Makes No Difference, that's a fantastic song. I would have been much happier. It's that band has hit it really big and then they suddenly get too much production. They don't get there isn't the punk edge to it at all, really. That's my issue. I know the genre is pop punk, but it is supposed to be a bit of both.
That chorus is very pop punk, though.
There is a good amount to it, and the riff the solo is really good. It's not a punk solo, but it's a good solo.
No, it's not a punk solo, but I just love the guitar solo.
It's a great
It's just
solo.
really cool, especially in the video when he comes out of the swimming pool playing the guitar solo.
Video is
I'll
very
go for a
good.
cigarette. I cannot deal with that being in the top 5. The fan made the top 5.
That's what's interesting about Sum 41 is that they were not really just into pop punk. They loved metal. And that's where that guitar solo came from.
Pain for Pleasure is, I think it was a double A side with Fat Lip because it was certainly tacked on to the end of the music video anyway. And that's just pure metal. I love most of the songs we've mentioned. Motivation's another one. That's a good one. That whole album's great. And then the album afterwards, Does This Look Infected, is great. That's less poppy. I really like them. And the reason I picked this is because you know me, I'm going to pick something that's very accessible, something that's pop with a groove to it. And yeah, it's going to be my favourite of their singles, much like Offspring's Want You Bad is my favourite single. It's the pop version. So I've gone for that. And unfortunately for Alex, it's paid dividends. In third place, with 53.9 points, 1.6 points ahead, coming in at number 3 tonight, is the lead single from this particular band's second album and came out way back in 1999 on RCA. It marks Dan's first appearance in tonight's list and can be heard in Ready to Rumble, 2012's American Pie Reunion, and Parks and Recreation. Produced by the band with Don Gilmore, this is Lit with My Own Worst Enemy.
Before we started recording,
That's on
or
my
even
list.
maybe after we started recording, I can't remember now. It's been a long recording session. Al proudly said it was his favourite song, but it's not pop punk. He's wrong. It's pop
not
punk.
pop
as
punk.
fuck.
It
It's not
is.
pop
And it's
punk.
amazing.
No, it's
They're
not.
not a pop punk band, but this is a pop punk song with a
It's
power.
not. There's not one
like,
riff on it
element.
that's punk. It's purely pop rock. This is up there with the Wild Hearts. This is just pop rock.
But you're wrong.
Al is in a
I gave
bad
this song with
mood.
10 because it's one of my favorite songs ever made.
If you Google this song, okay, let's just do that. It states clearly it's a pop punk song.
It's
Okay,
not a
just
pop punk
don't.
song. This album's not pop
Yes, it
punk.
is.
Nothing about it.
But the aesthetic is very pop punk with the lyrics
It
alone.
was the exact era and it was the exact time on Kerrang and all the music channels. This is well within the pop punk realm, but it's not pop punk.
Considered
It's pop rock.
punk, power pop, and alternative
power pop.
rock.
Power
My
pop
Own
is the
Worst
exact
Enemy is,
term
according
I'd
to
use for
Nick
it.
guitarist Jeremy Popoff, the result of waking up and realizing you screwed up the night before. That's what pop punk's all about.
Yeah.
It's not pop punk.
It just
Wow, I
embodies
like
the
that.
It's
spirit.
not. It's just not.
I probably scored this song the lowest of everybody.
Maybe.
But
You scored it
But-
a 6.9,
Yeah.
Tom.
Fair
yeah.
enough.
So the thing for me is with this song, like there were 2 albums. So I spent most of my childhood growing up on a caravan site in North Cornwall. And there were 2 albums in 99, 2000 that my friend Dave put on all the time. And it was this Lit album, or there was a Jurassic 5 album that came out about the same time that had like buildings on the front.
Yeah, I remember the one.
Yeah. And those 2 albums I have listened to so much that I can't actually remember any of them.
As a person who's listened to A Place in the Sun more than anyone on here, because it is my favorite album of all time, this song is an undeniable fucking banger.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I'll let you have that.
Yeah.
No way around it.
I love this album.
This album, there's a one bad song with it. Every song is absolutely incredibly good.
Yeah.
But it's not pop punk. It's not. It's just not.
This album is amazing. Lit were one of the first punk, but not punk, according to Alex,
Is it not
bands
punk?
that I got into. And yeah, I got a record player relatively recently. I've been trying to get all of my albums on vinyl, and A Place in the Sun was one of the first ones I tracked down and bought because it's just that good
You've
an
got on
album.
vinyl? I didn't know that.
Yeah. We went to see them. They were doing the 25th anniversary tour of A Place in the Sun, and we went to see them still, and they played the whole album start to finish, and it was such a good
God, they
gig.
could live as well.
Yeah.
For a little bit of balance on this song, 3 people scored it a 10, which is yourself, Alex, Dan, and also Jim as well.
Good people.
Now,
Good people.
I scored it a 9. I didn't quite score it a 10, and it's a nitpick. But does anybody else hear that bit leading up to the chorus? There is some feedback that's played on the guitar, and it screeches. It sounds like a recorder. And
Yeah,
I
it sounds really cool, doesn't it?
I really don't like that part, but every other aspect of the song is perfect. When I'm listening on headphones, that bit is difficult to listen to, and I'm like, for a pop song, there's something there that puts me out. I'm going to deduct from
This
it.
is how good the album is. That's not even in the top 4 best songs of the album. Like, this band is so good.
I haven't listened to the album.
Please listen to the album. It's so good.
As an album, I like it because, like I say, it was one of the 2 albums I listened to all the way through. I agree with Al. It's not one of the best songs on the album. And from those 2 albums that Dave used to play all the time, not Dave who was on the podcast, it's not, I preferred the Jurassic 5 album. I think it all blended into one, and there's like moments on the album that I really like. I think of this album as like one continuous song almost, because I only ever listened to it in its entirety. Picking out one track's really hard. And there are moments on the album where I go, yes, I really love that bit. And the thing is, we're picking this track out. This track doesn't have the bits that make me go, yes, this is it. If that makes sense, there are other bits on the album, and I can't tell you what song they're from, But if you picked a different song, I listened to it and gone, yeah, this is the bit where I got really high on a beat listening to this.
I mean, you listen to Completely Miserable and it's, you make me completely miserable. Stuck in my heart.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Honestly, like it tingles even fucking hearing it now. Like that fucking riff kicking in. And
You can't beat the bit on this song, though, where it's sleeping with my clothes on, came in through the window last night. It reminds me of every good uni night out ever. Came in through the window, slept with my clothes on, steak in a box.
Let's just be very clear. You didn't go in through the window. You just slept on the doorstep.
I slept on. Yeah, I would have gone in through the window if it had been open. I'm not violent.
You've got to remember, this is my favourite band of all time, my favourite album of all time. So, like, we are messing with extreme nostalgia here. I can't even be impartial for this one. You might go, oh, this song's a bit boring, or the riffs might not be good, but no, it is. It's just the best rock music ever made. Easy, not even close.
Everything Al just talked about was exactly the same way I talk about Pearl Jam.
Exactly. That's exactly what I said. It's extreme nostalgia. You can't mess with it. Nostalgia. You can't mess with the band that got you. Got me into rock music. This is the band. This is pre-Offspring. This is the band that got me into what I listen to now. This is the absolute pinnacle of what made me go from Spice Girls and like pop music to rock music. This is the band. No way around it. It's just, for me personally, it's the best rock album ever made.
I rated this song really high. I was just like, actually just watching you talk about how passionately you love that band. And I was like, fuck, that's so cool.
Look, let's be realistic. If I was going to make a list of bands I want to be on it, it'd be Blink-182, Lit, The Offspring, like all the bands we've all put together. But I'm sorry, some of them aren't pop punk, and this isn't one of them. This is pop rock. This is up there with the Wild Hearts. This is up there with fucking Ash, which fucking Mindthorn, which isn't pop punk. This is pop rock.
So we'll move on to second place to see if this meets Alex's metrics for actually being pop punk.
Meaning a punk riff.
In second place, scoring 54.8 points, a whole half a point ahead. Second place song is both our first Swedish entry and Jim's first choice. Really? Jim's first choice in tonight's top 10. Found on the band's fourth album, Penny Bridge Pioneers, in February 2000, and on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 soundtrack. This song was covered last year by Tony Hawk himself and made it across to the recent remaster of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 for modern consoles. This song is Millencolins' No Cigar.
This album is the best punk pop album ever made. It's not even close.
Yeah. Every song is fucking incredible.
It's not even close. This isn't even the best song on the album, but it's the one we chose because it's the most recognizable because it's on Tony Hawk's.
This is how everyone heard of Millencolin.
Yeah.
Millencolin, it's just epitomizes the genre perfectly, but they're also probably the best at doing it. I can't think of a band that are probably better, more consistent at being a good pop punk band than Millencolin. Like, even their first album, like Life on a Plate, for example, it sounded like it was recorded in a shed. I fucking love it as well. Story of my life.
Shed rock.
Like, yeah.
My favourite song of theirs is Kemp.
Yeah, but that's when pop punk was becoming less popular. So a lot of pop punk bands decided to start diversifying away. The self-titled Blink-182 album, when they stopped doing punk pop, it's the same era. It's not as good. But Millencolin, like No Cigar, is quite frankly, it's got everything. It was even like fucking Tony Hawk soundtrack. It's just that good. It's so good.
The melody's amazing. It's so catchy. Because of the Swedish connection, it's almost got like an ABBA-esque quality to how the melody's
The cadence
composed.
of their voice, I know what you mean. Like the cadence of their voice, like how they pronounce stuff.
Or in terms of song structure, just how well structured it is as a pop song. All the elements too. It's just fantastic. I love it.
Like, honestly, if no one who's listening now has never listened to Penny Bridge Pioneers, it's genuinely one of the best rock albums ever made. And
I'm going to check it out. I haven't listened to it the whole way through.
No Cigar. I listened to the song and went, I know this song. Oh yeah, that's Millencolin. I haven't listened to them since I was like 15.
You should.
And then I put the album on and I was like, yeah, it's really good. I've written in my notes, there are 3 songs on this list, one of which Al agrees with me on, one of which Al hates, or doesn't hate, but he didn't score very high. And then this one, which epitomise what pop punk is for me. This is one of the three. And this is the Tony Hawk's end of the pop punk. And this is the best of the Tony Hawk's pop punk.
I just wish they were more popular long-term wise. I remember seeing them live in Bristol Academy.
Yeah, we went. There were like 50 people
we went
there.
we went to Bristol
really,
Academy to watch them live, and it was half full.
not even half
Exactly.
full, but like literally 50 people
And
top.
we're
It's
talking,
like,
what, 5
shit.
years past the prime? Like only that. And I have no idea why. When it comes to pop punk, there are major record labels which epitomise pop punk. So there's like Epitaph Records and
Vanguard,
exactly. Yeah. There are a few record
RCA,
labels that really sum up pop punk. And one of the big ones is Burning Heart Records, which is a European. It's like when you get bands like Refused.
Refused aren't pop punk.
No,
my
but
favorite.
no,
they
it
are
was the
my
same.
favorite punk band
Yes,
by a long.
I love Refused. But Burning Heart Records was a giant one. Like, it was basically the European version of Epitaph Records back in the day. So they had a few good bands. But Millicona were the band on that record that absolutely blew the rest of the people on that record label away, popularity-wise.
Dan, No Cigar? Any thoughts?
It's a great song. Again, another 10 from me, I think. I've given a few on this list. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Wow, what a song. It's the best song on Tony Hawk's 2. It's a great song. Penny Bridge Pioneers is one of those albums that I bought because I liked the song so much. It's like there weren't that many back then that I'd actually go out and spend my hard-earned 15 quid on because I didn't have that much money. But Penny Bridge Pioneers was one of those, along with Hang Ups by Goldfinger. I can't remember what else, to be fair.
Probably Newfound Glory.
No, see, they weren't on Tony Hawk's, but I found those
Oh, well,
some in another way. I can't remember how. Through the internet, I think. So I was on like random.
Is this
pop
your attempt
punk.
at segueing into number one?
I was on random pop punk
better
forums
fucking
back in
not
the
be.
turn of the century, before forums became what they are now. And somebody went, "Oh, you should check out this band who are really cool. They're all about their girlfriends breaking up with them." I'm like, "That sounds good. I'm 14. I don't have a girlfriend."
That's my thing.
So
fantastic. Now, Jim, that wasn't my attempt to segue to our number one. It was close, but No Cigar. And number one, scoring 56.7 points and 1.9 points out in front. The winner of tonight is a triumph of a song that perhaps transformed the performers into international super hit makers and is also the oldest song on our top 10 tonight. Written whilst the lead singer was on speed, it was then released on the 29th of August 1994 and produced by former Prince manager Bob Cavallo with the band themselves. It was the third single from the band's Diamond certified third album Dookie that had been released earlier in February to much acclaim.
Fuck off.
Our winner tonight is Dan B's selection. It's the genre-defining Basket Case from Green Day.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Something well deserved.
It's one of those songs
Every song on
where
the top 10 are better. It's better than this song.
No, this is the best song.
No, it's not.
By
It's just
pop
not.
punk standards. It's got the best drumming. It's got the best vocals.
No, don't you say it's got the best drumming, because that's not true.
It's got the best drumming. It's got the best drum fill on the list. That fill at the very end of the song, played by Trey Cool, is the coolest drum fill. The intro is iconic. The "Do you have the time?" It's just iconic. You know what songs come in. It doesn't waste any time. It's straight in and out.
I didn't prefer Ford.
Yeah, Fuck Off and Die was okay. There's
Yeah.
better songs from a technical perspective than this on Dookie. But this is much in the same vein as All the Small Things. That is pop punk. This is pop punk. It's got all the hallmarks of a great pop punk song. And you can get caught up in the purism of talking about this is pop, this is alt rock. But ultimately, when you look at the culture of pop punk and what was there, Green Day were a massive part of that. Perhaps the biggest names in terms of chart success, at least. American Idiot was huge. And this song
It wasn't good, but it was huge.
arguable. That's a podcast for another day. This song put them on the map.
This song is amazing. Everybody knows this song. It's a great song. The intro, like you say, is good. I think what I like about it compared to a lot of the other pop punk songs is it does have a depth to it. There's more negativity. There's more overcoming adversity in it. It's about his struggles with anxiety, about Billy Joe's struggles with anxiety. He didn't, I think when he was writing the song, apparently he didn't even realize that's what it was about until a few years later when he looked back and he went,
Well, he wrote it on speed. He was on speed when he wrote
yes,
it.
he was,
It's crazy.
which makes sense. I actually prefer Welcome to Paradise. There are lots of songs that I prefer over this one, and I picked it because, hey, guess what? I knew it'd win.
It's got to be on the list.
I knew it would win. No, it
Yeah.
has. It's a seminal.
It's
It's
good.
an important song for this genre.
Yeah.
It's
I was
everything.
adamant this song wasn't going to win. I'm
Yeah,
actually
and
surprised.
Joel, you're lost, right? Go get your 4X song.
Every
Everyone
other song on
likes.
this top 10 was better
And
than
take
this
it
song.
off this list.
Every
No, it
other
isn't.
song.
See,
Every
It's
other
just
one.
so much better than In Too Deep. Come on, don't get.
I actually, I'll take that back. Yeah, it's better to you. I'll take that back. I'll totally take that back. Whoever kept that one in the fucking mix is an asshole.
everyone apart from you did.
It also gave
What?
all of your songs a resounding thrashing. So
What does that mean? I kept you guys wrong. I don't dislike it. I quite like this song, but but this way, when I was growing up, me and my brother, we're twin brothers, and we like the same genre. My brother liked Green Day. I like the Offspring. I never understood the love for Green Day. I like Insomnia. Is it Insomnia? Insomniac, sorry. The Green Day album. I like that one. I like Jaded. I like a lot of their songs.
I think
don't
that's my
dislike-
favourite Green Day album, actually.
I don't dislike Green Day. I've never disliked Green Day, but I've never got what made this album so good. It was pretty good. It was always pretty good. It was never amazing to me.
So I agree with you, Al. For me, the best Green Day album is Nimrod. The first 3 tracks of Nimrod are all amazing, and I absolutely love all of them. But this is the best. This is the track that has aged the best off Dookie.
Yeah.
It may not.
I
it may not be
disagree.
the best.
I just think
No,
it's
no, no.
the longest
I'm
running
not,
one.
I'm not saying it's the best track on Dookie. I'm not saying it's the best track, but it is the track that has aged the best.
Why is Dookie their best album? Because it's got this, it's got Longview, it's got She, it's got When I Come Around, it's got Welcome to Paradise.
It is a great album.
Yeah.
They're all.
But it's not the best song on the
absolute
album.
classics.
For example, Longview's better than this song.
Dookie is their best album by far. And
Oh,
the reason why
Insomniac, the one after is better.
I think Dookie is their best. I'm going to use Backcase as a
Stew,
really
man.
good example. You had Nevermind, right? What could ever follow Nevermind? Nothing could ever possibly follow Nevermind.
In Utero.
Green Day, well, yeah, it did. Yeah, it's like the best album. But Nevermind is poppy grunge, like depressed teenage garage rock kid in Midwestern America, like no hope, no future, all that stuff. And it's like Dookie was the perfect response to that. It was like, I do feel that way, but I've still got my band and I've still got my fucking guitar and I'm still like doing my thing. I think that Dookie was the perfect response to Nevermind. And it was like transferring that kind of like depressive grunge aesthetic through to like young people going, I don't want to be depressed anymore. I still have the anxiety. And they still had the anxiety and everything. They still had it there. It still existed. I'm going to have fun anyway. I'm going to have fucking parties and stuff.
It was almost like a shift in perspective in society from being really serious and contemplative. It's still self-aware and still introspective, but it's not taking itself seriously.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
This
Exactly
songs
that.
were better.
It's
It's not a bad song. I'm giving it a shit. It's not a bad song. I do like the song, but I just think there are better ones.
There are better ones, but are there genre-defining ones?
none of this whole fucking podcast.
I'm borderline.
Alex.
I'm borderline. I don't think Green Day are pop punk, to be honest. I'm borderline.
Oh, I have learned so much from you, man. And like your passion
thank
for
you.
this kind of music is fucking awesome. I love it. It's every bit of passion that you have for this form of music.
Is
It's
this
the
you
same
the
thing.
Cronenberg, Martin?
Yeah, totally. Of course it is. But it's
It's a
the
bit
same
both.
sort of passion I have for grunge music, and it's so nice to see. It's so nice to watch you be so passionate and be so fucking into the music that you love. I fucking love it. Al,
Yeah, I'm pretty great.
you're a bit of an inspiration to me tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, by slagging off Green Day.
I think this is one of those songs that we all looked at and went, we can't score it low
No.
because Dookie, whether we like it or not, and it's not my favourite Green Day album, it's not Al's favourite Green Day
mine.
album, it's not Dan's, it's
Not
not,
mine.
either of
It's not
Dan's
even in
or
my top
Jim's.
20
No.
punk bands.
No, it is Martin's favourite Green Day album. This album did, in 94, was the biggest of the albums in '94 that defined the way that pop punk went.
Yeah.
So having this picked as number one, although I don't think it's any of our favourite songs on the list. I think we've all scored it highly because I think we have to score it highly because it is, to use the phrase that Alex used when describing all the small things, this is as important as all the small things was 5 years later to what pop punk became. I scored it the 6th highest, but it's probably my 10th favourite on the list.
I would go as far to say it's my 6th or 7th lowest.
Yeah. But although it's not any of our favourite on the list, it really, Green Day needed to have a song in our top 10 because pop punk doesn't exist without them. You've got the Descendants in 1985. Green Day's first EP comes out in 1990, and their first album is 1991. They started this. So to have Green Day at number one, although we may look at it and go, there are better songs on the list.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't believe Zebrahead didn't make the top 10. I can't believe Yellow Kite.
I would have loved to talk about Zebrahead, but
don't get me wrong. Zebrahead got a surprisingly high score from me. I actually quite enjoyed that song.
You know what I can't believe? I can't believe bloody Goldfinger Superman isn't in the top 10.
Oh God, I thought I might have been number one.
Where was that song?
So Green Day needed to be in the top 10, and this is, although it's not my favourite Green Day song, it is a very important Green Day song, and I think it's very important that it did make the top 10. So even though we may look at it and go, there are songs we liked better on the list, there are songs all of us like better on the list, but I think all of us knew deep down this probably needed to be up there.
Yeah, it's common ground, isn't it? Musical common ground.
Do you know what's more important? It's what Letty's going to pick for next week.
That is true.
Yeah.
No, next episode. So next episode, we'll be doing bangers on trial. So we'll all bring a song that we're passionate about, and we will decide whether it's good or not. Hopefully, with it being the season finale, we'll also try and get Dave back on the podcast as well.
I am bringing Girls on Film by Duran Duran.
You've already done it.
Yeah, and it didn't make it.
It's going to make it this time.
It's not that good a song.
Those were our top 10 pop punk songs, and whether everyone agrees or not,
It's not our top 10 pump songs. It's
collectively.
It's top 10.
You have the winning pick this evening, Dan. You do get to pick what we'll be doing in our second episode in season 4. So not the album of the year, which will be the first episode. Second episode. What are we going to be doing?
Okay, let's go for something completely different. Let's go for the Fab Four. Let's go for a Beatles special.
Okay. I'm down with that.
Let's do the Beatles. Let's do the Beatles properly.
Oh, I'll be up for that, actually. I quite like it.
I thought you were talking about Backstreet Boys.
So we'll decide how to structure it between podcasts. We won't commit to a particular structure now. But yeah, just know that our Beatles special is coming. That'll be in February next year. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back next month with our Bangers on Trial, which will also see the launch of mini episodes on Patreon. So there's so much to look forward to. As always, follow us on Twitter at CAC Sessions Pod. The blog is always being updated with new articles, the YouTube channel, etc. Those are our pop punk songs. Al's off to have an aneurysm. Everyone else, make sure you stay funky.
Fucking sub 1 top 5.
Bye.
You guys. So irritating.
Then it's all the small things, not number one.